Hello and welcome on back to another Talking episode. I'm your host Teddy, and today I'm being joined once again by...
Hayden.
And today we're going to talk about the TMNT 2003 Season 2 Episode 20, I believe, hopefully, Rogan House Part 2. So what do you think about this episode briefly?
Well, briefly, I would say this is like a very much action-packed episode. It's very much a nice pace of change after the crazy episodes that we've had previously. But of course, this one was pretty cool too. I think this was a really nice action-packed episode, and yeah, I can't really say much from that because it's just a follow-up from last week's episode. This is part 2 of Rogue in the House, so yeah.
Yeah, I have to say that this episode, I think it started off really nicely with how it was able to pick up with the action and just right off with that. But then I feel like there was some stupid parts throughout this whole episode, and I feel like it was. I also had to say that some of the parts with the fighting, it became a little bit hard to watch just because I take like breaks and it became like rather annoying. Han's voice sounded weird, but I don't know if that was just me for this episode. And like there was really decent like horror like kind of elements in this episode, which I was like really surprised at. So yeah. Okay, so for this first bit, we have to talk about it in just a few little parts. So I want to talk about Donnie's part. So he was down under the bridge, trying to get the boats out, and then this way he comes in contact with the foot, and he beats them up. What do you think about that bit there?
Okay, so we're starting off with Donnie. To be honest, it was really cool to see like the bowels of the ship and like the engine room of the ship. It looked really cool, and I don't know why it gave me sort of like I don't know, the Star Wars vibe. And now hear me out. I know I'm speaking about Star Wars, but hear me out on this one. It felt and it looked like Obi-Wan Kenobi sabotaging the Death Star in Star Wars. To those who understand me, you will get what I'm talking about, but for some it might be a bit difficult. Basically, in Star Wars with A New Hope, there's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he goes into the Death Star engine room where the Death Star is, whatever you want to describe it as. But yeah, he goes in there and sabotages it, and that kind of just reminded me of that little scene right there. I'm not too sure if you'll understand it, Teddy, but for myself, I thought, oh my god, this is like Obi-Wan going down to like the engine room of the Death Star where the whole weapon is maintained and controlled, and he's going to sabotage it, he's going to blow it up.
Yeah, well, I have to say that I did enjoy it, just that it actually gave Johnny something to do. And it was like quite nice seeing like this kind of side of things, because I feel like with something like this they would probably would have forgotten about it had it been like any other kind of episode. But I think the thing that like really got me was the fact that he rang up earlier to say, oh yeah, we've got a ninja problem, when there's 4 ninjas there, and then afterwards he puts the phone down and then just proceeds to just beat them all up. What was the point of him calling and saying, oh yeah, we have a problem, when he just does it himself?
There was no problem. Donnie, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
There are bigger problems on board that ship than you right now.
Yeah, and then also, like, why wasn't anyone down there? Like, seeing that it's supposed to be a control room and, like, all that kind of stuff, I would have thought there would at least been, like, some technicians down there. But nothing.
You'd think that, wouldn't you? Like, the whole engine of the ship, surely there would be some technicians, engineers doing some maintenance on it, but nope, no one.
I guess that's America for us. But yeah, so after that we do have Mikey and Zog. They're fighting all the foot on the docks, and Mikey realizes, oh no, we left the shoreline on. So do that, and Mikey thinks that Zog's died, but turns out he's still alive. So what do you think about that bit there?
To be honest, it was kind of cool to see like Zod like just like send it. To be honest, it was quite funny. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna do this for the Republic, and it was pretty cool because he's still under the illusion that he's following the commander's orders, like his Triceratops. Yeah, God, I can't speak. Triceraton, thank you ever so much. Triceraton commanders, and of course he just full on sends it. And because he's a rhino, he uses his head just to like smash the O-rings off the dock and into the sea, and then he just dives headfirst into the sea. I'm like, oh my god, can he swim? Can he swim? He's a dinosaur. And I was like, oh no, is he gonna drown? And of course Mikey then jumps in after him. but to be honest, I actually thought he did die. Like he drowned because I don't know if Triceratons can swim or not. Like it was a very tense moment because it's like, oh my god, he's actually dead. He's drowned. So that's the end of Zod. But no, clearly not. He can swim, and lucky enough, he survived. He managed to pull himself up and then go from there. Really, he was an absolute unit.
Well, he survived for now.
Yes, that is for now. But we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, so after that, we do get... wait, oh no. Oh god. I need to get my opinions on it. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was quite good to see, like, Mikey and Zog have a little fight. I mean, there wasn't really too much to it, but like, I thought like, it was like quite nice to see them actually do stuff and actually be a bit useful. Yeah, so after that, we do get to see Raph, Leo and Splinter. They're fighting the Foot Elite and Hun. Oh boy. And this is where things go from like 5 to 11 real fast after this. So what do you think about this fight scene here?
To be honest, it was really cool. I really did enjoy the Han and the Turtles and Splinter fighting the Foot Elite as well. That was really cool. And just to see Han and Splinter go head to head with one another, that was so interesting because we never really see Han and Splinter like fight before, and it was just really cool to see how they fought against one another. And it was also quite interesting to see like Splinter almost getting like shish kebabbed by the Foot Elite. Like he almost got like put on these spikes by the Foot Elite. And of course, Leo comes in and saves him. That was pretty cool to see as well, because you could see the expression in the faces as well. It's like, okay, this is some bad stuff that's going to happen. But luckily enough, Leo saves him. But yeah, no, I really did enjoy that scene. In seeing Han and Splinter fight for each other, and it was just like really cool to see.
Yeah, to say that I really enjoyed this fight scene here, and I do like. I also do like how it does show how much the Turtles have progressed. It like, especially like with Leo, like he's able to go like 1-to-1 with the Foot and not like be fearful of them anymore. He's able to fight them and actually stand his ground compared to like the last few times where he's been a bit scared and he hasn't been able to defeat them by himself. So I must admit, it's like quite nice to see like some progression there, and even see even Raph able to go up against them and about to go like he was able to go like 2-on-1 at one point. It's like quite nice to see that like they are like slowly progressing as characters to like slowly like step up to defeat them all. And it was like nice to see Master Splinter fight Hun. I mean, the fact that Hun was able to capture Master Splinter, I just feel like that, like they just like needed a reason just to like put everything in for the next few scenes. But I just feel like it's just so unrealistic that a Hun of all people was able to catch a Master Splinter and tie him up. And yeah, Master Splinter was able to struggle against this. But yeah, he's able to, like, you know, go up against, like, Shredder and all that, but it's just so weird and all that, how Han is able to take on Master Splinter, but yet he can't defeat the Turtles.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. Like, it really doesn't. Like, it's Han we're talking about here, up against Splinter. Like, it shouldn't work. It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I mean, just because it's, like, so annoying, just because of Han. He has shown that he can definitely like stand his own in like any sort of fight with like the Turtles, Han, like Casey, Splinter, everything like that. But I do like to see that like, he is like quite skilled because he has to go up against like Triceraton and all that kind of stuff. It's just so nice that he's able to do a lot more than just be the strong one, and he's able to have like a pretty decent fight. But I feel like at the same time with him, there's definitely a balance issue with his strength, just because like he's able to get defeated by Casey and the Turtles, but yet he can defeat Splinter, and he can like somehow survive like falling off buildings. It's just so weird and bizarre with what they do with his character. It's almost like he's got like same sort of plot armor to Shredder, but yet he's human somehow.
Yep, it's one of those ones.
But yeah, so after that, we do get to see the Shredder tells Karai to go out and kill Leonardo. Oh my god. Yeah. I know that we're talking about. I definitely want to be talking about this a lot more in just a second. But what do you think about this bit here?
Sorry, which bit again?
Shredder tells Karai to go kill Leonardo, and
Right.
Karai's like, "Oh no, I can't because I've got honor."
To be honest, it was very interesting to see Karai and Shredder like argue. Like Karai is very strong-hearted with her honor and dignity, while Shredder doesn't really have that sort of thing. He sees a goal and he does it, even though it might go against honor. He doesn't care. And it was really cool to see Karai and Shredder just like bicker and argue. It's like, don't we have any honor? Did we not fight for honor? And then Shredder's like, no, that what honor is there, we must win at all costs. And it was nice to see that conflict between them, because it just deepens the story between Karai and Shredder. Like Shredder has trained Karai to be this super soldier, a soldier that follows orders no matter what the cost, but Karai deep down still has this like conflict between being kind, having honor and dignity and pride. She has all of those, but Shredder does not, because Shredder isn't really a human. He's really just a dark shell. Like, he's just a void of anger and hatred, whilst Karai has this kindness to her within this character, and she has this really bright future, whilst the Shredder has this dark, ominous future, and only death and destruction follows. And I just really liked how they included that, even though I may be like overlooking this way too much, but that's what I feel like. Yeah, I feel like this is where it's gonna go. Like, this is where the vengeance, and this is where the betrayal of Karai goes against Shredder and joins the Turtles instead. Maybe this is the something of a new alliance coming through. That's what I think, in my opinion, about all of this. But I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, so I'll just say, like, just going off your points, I mean, I do find it, like, so interesting that it contrasts with, like, how Shredder does things where he's just a ruthless bastard, just want to kill them all.
Yep.
Just because. And you've got Karai, who wants to stick to her honor and all that kind of stuff. And I do think that this is something which is, like, really fascinating about her character, and something which I do find to be, like, a really great comparison with, like, this version of Karai and 2012 Karai, where I feel like Karai in 2012 was a really good, like, plot kind of device, where she was able to carry where she had to move the plot forward in so many episodes and for the whole for most of the show, really. But in here, where she actually feels like a really fleshed out character with a conflict, and it's something which I think I've talked about this before, where she knows like she knows like Shredder's evil and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, because of her honor and the conflicting like how it conflicts, I just find it so fascinating, so interesting, and especially to do get to see in like next season with more episodes like this, where we do get to see more of this conflict. It's just so fascinating to see like what she's willing to do to sort of like, you know, like balance, like sort of like give, you know, like honor, like her honor, and also like also obey the Shredder. It's just so fascinating to see like these two worlds collide in a very interesting, fascinating way, and especially like seeing it here, like especially here, like Karai has to go after like Leonardo and kill him. It's just so like fascinating to see because you obviously in like Karai's face and like she knows that it's wrong and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time because it's Shredder and he was the one that raised her and all that kind of stuff, she has to do it. It's just so fascinating. I think that this is like arguably like one of the best versions of Karai. I think that this is like a very underrated story for like any character because of the dilemma, the conflicts. It's just so fascinating and so interesting. Oh boy.
Need a breather, mate?
Yeah, I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time.
I can tell.
So after that, we do get to see Karai. She comes in, and it's about to kill Leonardo, but Han decides to give Leonardo his swords back to have a fight. And we do have some weird bits here where we do get to see it turn into a black room with a white dot, or like white circle. And then after the fight, the room faced white. There are some weird choices in this fight scene. What do you think about this fight scene here?
To be honest, I was a bit weirded out. Like, why is it turning all black, and then why is there white? Like, what's going on here? But then, of course, I realised I think they were trying to make it so it's like a judo or like a studio or like a battle arena just between the two foes. So it's like all eyes are focusing on Leo and Karai. So I can see why they did it. It was kind of weird at first, seeing why is it turning to black? What's going on? Are they being teleported to a different dimension? Like, what is going on? But when it develops, it does make sense. Like, oh, they're trying to focus the attention on Karai and Leo. But yeah, no, I thought that was pretty cool. With regards to Leo and Karai's fights, like Karai was like headstrong, it's like, okay, I'm gonna kill Leo because that's what I've been told to do. Leo is trying to get inside her head, and he's trying to explain to her, like, look, if you're gonna do this, you're no better than the Shredder. You have no honor. Where is your honor? Where is your dignity? Where is your pride in all this? Like, you have none if you follow through with this. And of course, slowly and surely, Leo infiltrates Karai's mind and finally turns her over to the side of good and realizes that Karai is a good person deep down, which is really cool to see. But in regards to like the whole situation with Karai and Leo and everything going on, it does show that Karai is very much a person who has all her positive traits still attached. Despite the fact Shredder trained her all these years, Karai has this like honor. She has this bright light inside of her that hasn't been diminished by Shredder's hatred, and she knows some right from wrong. She knows that this is bad. This doesn't have any deal or benefit or honor with it because she promised them their lives if they followed through with retaking New York for the Foot Clan. And of course that happened. It did. It worked. But she's conflicted by the deal because deep down, she is a good person.
Yeah, I'd say that with the fight scene, with the whole weird bits, I don't think it would have been as bad if actually went through with it fully and actually had the full fight scene in that kind of direction. But I think the fact that like had it for like one little bit there and a little bit at the ending, and it just feels so out of place just because of how weird and different it is compared to every other fight scene. And this is the only time to do this in the show, so it just seems so out of place. And I can understand like, with the whole honor side of things, and I think that like it does play into that side of things. But I think like if you want to do something like that, you have to go through with it all the way, or if not, it just comes off really stupid. But yeah, I mean, I did find the like Leo's conversation with Karai, I don't think it was as powerful as what I was expecting or hoping for. But I do feel like the whole conflict with Karai's dealing with, I feel like that's a lot more powerful than what like Leo's like saying, oh yeah, you know, like even though you're working for Shredder and all that kind of stuff, you do this, you're bad as him. It wasn't really as powerful as like knowing about the conflict that Karai's facing internally. But yeah. So after that, we do get to see everyone. Everyone comes into the ship. We did get to see a small battle between Hun and Zog. Oh boy, what do you think about that bit there?
That was pretty cool to see. Like, two major, like, tank characters fighting against one another. And I'm not gonna lie, I did find this really funny, where Zod comes in and he batters Han, and then Han batters him. And of course, there's, like, literally no damage that's happening. It's like two punching bags up against one another, and they're barely taking any damage. And Han's, like, fighting with all his strength. Zod is fighting with all his strength. And it's not moving. Like, Han is actually met someone who can go against him. Like, Han has met his match with Zod, and it was just really cool and kind of funny just to see them like smack each other one after the other, and nothing's really happening. It's like hitting a brick wall and the brick wall's hitting back. You know, that is literally how I saw it. But it was pretty funny to see them fight against each other because it was like two matches. Like, Han and Zod are matched in strength and their ability to fight, so it was just really funny just seeing it go back and forth between the two.
Yeah, well, I just say like it was like quite nice to see Han actually use his ninja skills and actually be quite strong. Just whops him with like, a big pipe. Like, there was some weird, like some funny things and also weird bits. So like one got Zog just yeeting him out the window, out the door.
Yeah,
that's how dinosaur. But the second thing, which I found like quite weird, like only thing about it now, Zog rammed his head into Han's chest. Zog has horns, sharp horns. How did he not get stabbed?
Now that you mention it, yeah, how did that not happen? Unless Han was wearing some like protective body armor underneath him, like that would have probably torn right through his chest and back, making him like very much dead.
Yeah, like he should. Like, like, there's so many times he should have died, but this is definitely up there with like one of them.
I'd probably say he's got some cracked ribs from that impact, but yeah, that's all I could probably tell from that scene, because maybe it was like not the right angle. Maybe he was lucky enough that Zod didn't pierce his chest, but he probably would have got a few broken ribs. I'd probably say that.
Yeah, well, it's annoying just because we don't find out because we don't see Han and like most of these characters, they don't like reappear until like season 3, so it's annoying because but unfortunately they never gives us any answers. But I mean, like next season for the end for like final season for the like season finale kind of thing, Han goes through like another big fall, and yet he somehow survives. He has the biggest plot armor I've ever seen. And he's still only human, and he's not the main character.
And he somehow lives. Somehow he survives every time.
Yeah. So after that, we do get to see another very awesome battle. So we'll talk about the top bit first, where we do get to see the Shredder, the like Foot Techs fighting all like Turtles, Zog, and Splinter on top bit. Oh boy. You may begin.
Oof, where do I start? To be honest, I really don't know where to start. I guess I'll start from the beginning. So basically, I actually don't know where to start. I'm actually like trying to think on where to start first, because there was so much going on in there. Like you've got the Footbots, and then you've got the Turtles. Then you've got Zod and Shredder, like. Zod and Shredder, like an Utron versus a Triceraton. Now that is a pretty cool match. But yeah, no, I guess I'll start with Zod and Shredder. Like, even though it was only brief, but I thought it was really cool just seeing the two go up against one another, like mortal enemies.
That was at the bottom bit. I was just going to be talking about like stuff on the top bit.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about the stuff on the top.
They didn't fight on, did they?
Yeah, well, in that it was only a small scene where they're running against one another, and of course, then they impact and then they fight. But
oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Just briefly, but that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, no, I thought that was really cool, that fight scene. Just seeing Splinter and the Shredder go at it again, and of course, having the same actions and having the same outcome. Like Splinter always wins, Shredder always falls, but it was really cool to see the Footbots go up against the Turtles as well, because half of the bots aren't complete yet, and so it was cool to see like some had no head, some had no limbs, and it was really funny just to see some just like wandering around aimlessly, like trying to fight, despite the fact that they weren't even finished. But with regards to Zod and the bots as well, like the prime ministers and the president of the United States, that was pretty cool, and I think that was probably like my favorite part about that fight scene, just seeing Zod just tear limb to limb of these like Footbots and then getting blown up in the process. Like, I thought that was really cool, and that was probably like my favorite little bit from that fight scene, because Zod was just like tearing them up. And of course, if it was like a human, I don't think he would have gotten away with like being aired, like humans being torn limb for limb, because it was a robot or a Footbot. But I thought it was really cool just to see like the destruction and power that Zod can actually bring to a fight. Like, it would have been cool to see like some foot ninjas, like some human ones, but of course we got to keep it PG up in here, so the Footbots will have to do. But I thought that was just really cool, how he just teared them apart and how he just survived that explosion. Like, the Triceratons are tough, I'll give you that. So that was just really cool to see as well.
You have to see that overall for the fight, I thought it was like really entertaining. Like Shredder versus Splinter fight, I found it be a bit disappointing. I don't feel like there's anything really new there, other than just, you know, I don't know. It didn't really feel like they were like progressing like characters whatsoever. but it was decent. Zog, yeah, that was really amazing. Just comes in, just rips them apart, and then just runs through another one. Like it was like really fun to see like Triceratons actually doing like more unique fighting styles compared to just shooting guns. And I would definitely want to see like this side of like Triceratons come back and just actually be like a real powerful menace to the turtles. But the footbots, or the foot tickle, what they're called, I found them to be like really like entertaining, just because I felt like with these ones they were definitely they actually felt like a real threat like most of the time, because you got Mikey being electrocuted, Donnie he got his stick taken away and just got kicked away. These actually felt like real threats, and it's a shame we should get rid of these characters afterwards, because it's really nice to like show and there's always going to be a new threat out there. The turtles aren't like fully prepared for everything and all that kind of stuff, and I do like that aspect of it. And I like how like these really do feel like an actual danger, and something which like happened like the bottom bit. We do get to see like Mikey. He goes up against one that just like clips around his shoulder and pulls him into like chainsaw. I found it to be like so entertaining and so like fun to watch, just because it felt like an actual threat, and it was just so amazing. And the whole and I suppose we're talking about the bomb bit now a little bit as well. The horror elements. Oh my lord. Okay, yeah. Let's talk about the bottom bit first. Like now, I guess. Okay, I want to talk about the horror elements. Like
horror.
Yeah. Did you not feel any?
No.
Like,
no, I was actually going to ask you, where was the horror bits in this episode?
So I had to say, like Mikey, like getting dragged, like by his shoulder, being pulled through in like the whole area being like broken, and fire being pulled into his like doom with the whole change thing, and he was like barely able to get away from that. I found, I mean, so I wouldn't say like he's like full horror, but like I'll say like it was like horror. Aesthetic or like theme and all that kind of stuff. It had the mood and genre of that kind of thing, but I know that it wasn't. But like it just gave off that kind of vibe, and also and I also got like Shredder after he like slashes Zog with that menacing shot. I feel like there was definitely like some horror elements within this bit, but I wouldn't say it's like full blown horror or like gore or anything. But like there was bits where like had they gone in a different direction or different shots, it was horror and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I can see where you're getting the horror vibes from. It kind of reminds me of Saw a bit, when Mikey's being trapped and being pulled towards the blades. Like, that does kind of remind me of Saw a bit, but I wouldn't say for myself personally it was horror related. Like, because there was like so much going on, I wouldn't say it would be like a horror sort of thing. For you, it might be, but for myself, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, so, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like full-blown horror, but like, I would say like there's, it has that like atmosphere with the whole background, the burning, destroyed ship, and this menacing threat. I feel like there's like horror elements definitely there, but like not too extreme as like other episodes. But I do get to see Donnie. He meets Baxter. And Baxter's main, his main whole deal was just banging his head on a glass.
Yeah, poor Baxter. Like,
this is just sad to watch now.
Yeah, this is getting depressing for Baxter. Like, he has nothing left. He's a husk of his former self. Like, he's just a brain in a jar at this point. And I'm surprised he survived this long. But it's Baxter. He always finds a way to cheat death or delay death as much as possible. So it's always going to be Baxter. Like, hell, at this point, I'm surprised he hasn't converted his brain into computer binary code so he can go into a machine instead. Like,
I'll give him time.
Like, I'm surprised he hasn't done that yet. Like, something out of Avengers Winter Soldier, you know? Like, the machine, you know, the Nazi scientist, he's in the bunker, and he's transferred his consciousness into the machine, so he can now control machines and everything else, and he's alive. I'm surprised he hasn't done that yet, so...
I'll give him time, but... yeah, I mean, it's just so depressing to watch. But again, like, this is like another character who's like survives deaths, and and horrific accidents, but yet somehow still survives and continues on to live throughout the whole show. How? Yeah, okay. So we do have one battle between Zog and Shredder for the first one, which was, oh yeah, brutal. This we've got Zog slamming a pill on him. Oh my lord. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what do you think about the first fight?
Which one?
Zog versus Shredder.
Zod versus Shredder. Is this in the below decks now?
Yeah.
Yes. Just thought I'd confirm.
Yeah, just before it got slashed.
Yes. The fight scene between Shredder and Zod, that was pretty cool because Zod is very powerful against like the Shredder. Even though Shredder's in this biomechanical machine, Zod is like full Triceraton. Like he's fully strength. His capacity for like raw power is greater than Shredder. But with that, I think that was pretty cool. But I gotta move on to like the second scene where the Shredder slices into Zod. Like for the second time in this episode, I thought Zod had died. Like, come on, really? You have to like. I was getting invested in Zod, and Zod, like, it was a cool character, and then of course he gets slashed in the back by the Shredder, and he's dead. I'm like, oh my god, like, you can't make this stuff up. It was just really, like, a really tense moment. Like, Zod is now dead, and the Shredder is, like, going to kill the Turtles. But, of course, we then get to see Zod arise again from the dead, and then he does this crazy thing, but I wanna see what your opinions is first before I talk about what happens, because I don't want to like jump ahead and miss out any random bits. So you tell me what you thought of that little first scene there, Teddy.
Well, I mean, I quite enjoy like seeing like Zog just warps a like big like pipe on Shredder's face. Somehow just not like crushes it whatsoever, but yeah. I mean, I quite enjoyed it because it was like quite intense battle, and then seeing like Shredder slash him, and I would say like that bit there. And let me send you a screenshot of like what I was like trying to say with like that horror kind of element. Because I feel like it. Once you see it, I feel like you will definitely understand. Because you have like seen it, but it. But I'd say like that bit there, looks like so menacing and so cool because I haven't really seen Shredder in like that sort of that way before compared to like other episodes or anything like that. So it was like really nice to see like Shredder in this like really like demon kind of aspect, which was just like so nice to see. But yeah, I'd just say that overall it was like really nice, it was like a nice change, and it was quite shocking to see like Zog be like that. But then like see Zog gets up and just throws him into the burning ship and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, okay, yeah. So what do you think about that bit there?
Yeah. To be honest, I do see the resemblance of like this ghostly demon character from Shredder. Like that is a pretty cool screenshot right there, where he's rising from the flames like I don't know, like a phoenix or something. But yeah, with Zod and Shredder though, oh my gosh, for the third time in this episode, and unfortunately for the last time, we see Zod. And Zod is like a true legend for this because he saves the Turtles. He sacrifices himself in the name of the Republic and kills himself trying to kill the Shredder. And I thought, okay, this is probably going to be like a sort of like thing. He's going to come back, he's going to live, but unfortunately I don't think he's coming back from that. But yeah, no, when he grabbed the Shredder, and I thought, yes, finally the Turtles can attack him, and Zod says, please go, please save yourselves, and please tell my people what I have done here today. And then I'm thinking, okay, why is he speaking like that? And he turns around and he walks towards the flames, and I'm thinking to myself, guys, what's he doing? You gotta stop him, okay? Just stop him. And then he just says for the Republic and just jumps straight into the belly of the beast, into the fiery flames below him, never to be seen again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he just said screw it and just sacrificed himself for the greater good. And I was like, oh my gosh, this actually just happened. Like, Zod, for the third time, and for the last, unfortunately, has died. You know, we're never going to see him again. Like, Zod was such a cool character, and his sacrifice let the turtles survive. And I was thinking to myself, wow, they actually went there. Like, they actually went there. You know, if you get what I mean. Like, they actually went there. Zod just jumps in, suicide. Well, not suicide. He sacrifices himself, and just sacrifices himself to save the turtles and tries to kill the Shredder, which unfortunately goes in vain because somehow the Shredder survived once again, but Zod unfortunately does not. So that is what I think of it. I thought it was absolutely mental that they went there and that he just did it. Like, I wasn't expecting it. Like, he just did. He's dead. He's dead now. He's gone. Like, we're never going to see him again, which is really sad because I really like Zod. He was actually grown on me as a character. Like, even though he was stuck in this delusional world, he was a good soldier at the end of the day, and he followed through with the mission. He destroyed the stronghold at any means necessary, and so he did. So that is what I think about it. I'm going to stop now because I'm going to keep rambling on about this. But yeah, what did you think though? Like, what was your thoughts when the first time you saw this scene play out? Like, how did it make you feel? Like, what happened for you?
I found it to be quite disappointing, actually.
Disappointing?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no. Okay, so I might want to explain myself a little bit. Okay, so first of all, I felt like showing that like Zog opened his eyes to get up. I felt like had they not shown that, I felt like the impact of like seeing like Zog would be like, oh my god, I can't believe he survived, and he's gonna go at it again. I feel like it would be a lot more impactful. But seeing him come back, it felt like, oh, he's alive, okay. And then also like he just picks him up and just then goes into the thing. I mean, I enjoyed how they Zog went around it because I felt like they did like a really good justice for his character, and really stay true to his character, like saying for the Republic and all that kind of stuff. But also at the same time, because it was like very near the end of the episode, if it did feel like really rushed, it was just like, oh, okay, so like we're in this situation, and we've only got about 2 minutes left. Let's just quickly do this, and then we're done. And I do think also that the fact, because also like Shredder survived, it also does feel a little bit more pointless as well. But it's annoying because I do want to like this, because I do think like Zog is a really great character, but like I felt like the way they went around it for his final bit, I felt it was just like way too rushed. I think that's my biggest problem with it all. So, yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, it would have been cool, like, if they didn't show Zod surviving Shredder's slash, and then showing him a few seconds later, then that would have had a greater, I think, effect on me and the audience in general, because they all think he's dead, but then he comes back and then sacrifices himself. I think that would have had a greater effect on the audience, but unfortunately it didn't play out like that. But overall, I thought it was pretty cool how he just, sacrificed himself for the greater good and to survive all this time on an alien planet, and he did it for the Republic at the end of the day. He followed through. And I think that was really good for his characters as well, because the Triceraton people are valiant soldiers. They believe in death and honor, in the glory of battle, sort of thing. And to see him go like this, I think they did his character good in this. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but for his character and how it went out, it went out with a bang, really. So I think they did really good on that.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, it's like really annoying just because I do like his character, and I like how he did stay true to his character with the whole Republic side of things. But I do feel like he was like very rushed just because it was near the end and we had to get on to the next bit and then the episode. Yeah. But after that, pretty much for like the final few bits, which I definitely there's really too much we can really talk about here. But the total is sad because Zog's dead. and Karai picks up Shredder. And somehow Baxter is alive. Again.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, anything to say about that?
To be honest, I was a bit disappointed in how, Zod's sacrifice was in vain, because he died trying to kill the Shredder, and now Shredder's still alive after everything. So I am a bit disappointed in that, but I was even more surprised to see Baxter Stockman floating around the ocean still alive. Like, I'm surprised the explosion didn't rip his container apart and he's just a brain floating in the ocean, not eaten by like some sea creature, you know? Like, he's still alive. And somehow he isn't dead. He's like a cockroach. Like, you can't kill him. They just come back in greater numbers.
Yeah.
And it's Baxter Stockman.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, I have to admit, Stockman's line, I think, it just sums up his whole character. Aha, once again, Baxterman's cheated death. That is just a Stockman thing.
Yep, that is just Stockman written all over. One day I think it's going to catch up to him though, and something bad's going to happen, because he can't be like that forever, surely not.
Well, it's funny they mention that, because in season 6 there's this whole because the whole season's set in the future, and it's 100 years in the future, and Baxter's there.
How is he still alive? I don't understand. He's a brain in a jar. How can he survive? Like, his body is gone. His brain and his organs have decomposed by then, and somehow you're telling me in 100 years' time he's still alive?
Yes, like, a brain, eyeball, and some tentacles, all organic.
Tentacles?
They're green.
How has he got tentacles
the
now?
brain's
That
green.
doesn't make sense.
I don't know. It's the future. What do you expect? Okay, either way, moving on.
Yeah, we're going to move on. I'm not going to argue with this, because it's annoying me already that he's still alive after everything.
So yeah, what do you think about this episode overall?
Overall, I think this was a really good episode, and I think I recommend it as like one of my top 10 as well, because of Zod, like, and how Zod went out with this character. Because if it wasn't with Zod, I don't think I would have rated it this high and as one of my top 10 as well. But overall, I thought this was a really good episode, and I would recommend as my top 10.
I don't know if I'd put him in my top 10, but I feel like it's definitely up there for being like one of the better episodes from this season. But at the same time, there's not really there wasn't really too much competition with this season. But yeah, I'd say that it was decent overall. There was like annoying. Like, it's annoying because I really do enjoy this whole episode, because it's just a whole action-packed episode, lots of fighting, setting up conflicts with Karai. There's also stuff which I absolutely love about this episode, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of it was just felt too rushed, and I don't think it had like some problems as like other episodes where the tales felt stupid or anything like that, but there was definitely certain scenes there that would suggest otherwise. Like with Donnie calling for help and then immediately takes out the foot. So it's I feel like with this episode I'm always gonna be like, well, this is good, but at the same time this is bad. So I'm on the fence about it. Okay, so don't hear some trivia for this episode.
Let's hear it.
There isn't really too much trivia. There's only 2 bits. When Mikey says there's no need to fear, Michelangelo is here. This is a shout out to Underdog. Okay,
yep.
Michelangelo's lower legs were Leonardo's for a minute, and then they turned back to normal. Okay. And that's all the trivia. Okay, so for the cast, we got, for major characters, Donatello voiced by Sam Riegel, Leonardo voiced by Michael St. Nicholas, Michelangelo voiced by Wayne Grayson, Raphael voiced by Greg Abbey, Spencer voiced by Darren Dunstan. Minor characters: Karai, voiced by Karen Neely, Shredder, voiced by Scotty Ray, Hun, voiced by Greg Harry, Baxterman, voiced by Scott Williams, Zug, voiced by Denzel Mansley. How are some of these characters minor characters? How is Zog a like a minor character? He's a major character.
Absolutely. Like, he sacrificed himself. Like, surely you can't put him down as a minor character.
They did.
I think they got that wrong.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of stuff wrong. Okay, now for your next favourite bit. What do you think is coming in next episode? And it's called April's Artifacts.
Oh, I'm not too sure. April's Artifacts. I
would like to say this now, you will definitely get it wrong.
Yeah, I know I'm going to get it wrong, but hell, might as well take a crack at it.
Just like really go out with it, like just don't
Oh
think...
yeah, I'm going to. Don't you worry about that. I'm going to go...
Don't think normal, think 2012 weirdness.
On it. Right, I think April is going to find this artifact in her, like, box of trinkets in her store, and it's going to go like an Indiana Jones episode, you know? I think they're going to go on like a quest. I think they're gonna go and hunt down like the artifacts, like Indiana Jones style, and that's what I think is gonna happen. That's crazy, right? Come on, that's pretty good for crazy.
You was actually spot on for the first bit, and then you nah.
Well,
the only bit you got right was the fact that April found the stuff in her box of other stuff. That's the only bit you got right.
Well, I was close.
Okay.
Yeah, are you going to give me the point or not? Because I was pretty darn close, and you said I wouldn't be able to figure it out.
I'll give you a quarter of a point.
Quarter? What do you mean a quarter?
Well...
I'll give you a point or no point.
Well, I mean, the bit which you got was right at the beginning of the episode, so it's not like it's really going to the plot or anything. Okay, moving on.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, who do you think is going to be starting the episode?
I think... Okay, so if it's an April episode, I think it might be, I want to say... Maybe... No. I don't know why, but I want to say... Is it one of the Turtles?
No.
No, okay. I want to say it's April.
Correct.
Yes!
I could have been really mean then.
You could have, but you didn't.
Just think yourself lucky. Oh, this won't happen again for next week.
Let me have this, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Let me have this moment.
Yeah, but yeah, do you have anything else to say about this episode, or are you all done with this one?
To be honest, I'm sort of done. I've said what I've needed to say, really. I am... All I can say is one of my top 10s because of how Zod carried out the mission and how he sacrificed himself for the greater good. Apart from that, I wouldn't rate it that highly if Zod wasn't like in this episode, because Zod is such a cool character that has grown on me, and because of his sacrifice, I think it's made him one of my favorite characters within this series so far. But yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good episode all in all.
Yeah, it's alright. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, but a lot of stuff we should do disliked about it. So yeah. Okay, moving on. Oh god, yeah, that's been another episode of Falcon Tales. I've been your host Teddy,
and I've been Hayden,
and we'll see you all soon. Goodbye, yo, bye.
Bye.